Hello, this is Kate from Daily Tarot Girl, and this is your weekly tarot card reading. And for this week's reading, I am using the This Might Hurt Tarot deck by Isabella Rotman. All right. So I'm going to begin by drawing 3 cards. Each card is going to represent a portion of the upcoming week. And I want to tell you about my upcoming free tarot workshop. It's called Tarot Secrets Revealed. And I'm going to show you 3 powerful ways to get your cards talking so that your cards will feel like every time you sit down to do a reading, it's like sitting down with like a gossipy group of best friends who just can't wait to talk to you and tell you everything. So I'm going to put the link below. This is going to be a live workshop. It's happening on Thursday at 11 p.m. Pacific time, but there will be a replay. I will be recording it, so make sure that you sign up. I'll put the link below, and I hope to see you there. Okay, so let's talk about the first card. So the card for the beginning of the week, Monday, Tuesday-ish, we've got Strength. Now, Strength is a major arcana card, and it's number 8. And what's really interesting about the number 8 is that it's also an infinity symbol, and we see that infinity symbol right above the head of the woman in Strength. So Strength is, well, it's hard for me not to read this card in a literal sense because this card is about strength and fortitude. And as you enter this week, at the beginning of the week, the message here is that strength can come in many different forms. So strength could look like being compassionate and gentle with others, or compassionate and gentle with yourself. Just like the woman on this card is being very gentle and kind to this lion. It could also be about boundaries. And the thing that I love about Strength is we see a big cat, we see a lion, and anyone who has had a cat knows that they are really good at standing up for themselves usually and asserting their boundaries. If they don't like the way you pet them, or if they don't like being picked up, or if they don't want you in their space, they're really good usually at letting you know that. That's what I love about cats. And so when Strength comes up in a reading, sometimes it's because you really need to set some boundaries or respect the boundaries that you've set. Not in a necessarily like a super rigid way, because strength is also about being flexible, but it's about knowing when to be flexible on your boundaries, when to maybe break the rules a little, and when you need to really stick to something and really be assertive. So I feel like the message with Strength is the beginning of the week. It's going to be important for you to be assertive, but also gentle and compassionate. So this is just a reminder that standing up for yourself, being assertive, setting boundaries, those things aren't about being bossy or controlling or a stick in the mud. So you can be empathetic, you can be kind, you can be compassionate, and you can be assertive and set boundaries. And that is the message of Strength. That's what I'm getting from it today. So that's an important thing, I think, to remember as we step into this week. I think that's what's going to help us have a great week and really step into our power, is that piece about boundaries and just remembering that when you set boundaries, it's about being kind to yourself. And you can be kind and compassionate and empathetic to others and be assertive and stand up for yourself. So now we have the Fool for the middle of the week. So Wednesday, Thursday-ish, we've got the Fool. And I love the Fool because this is about stepping out on a new adventure and taking a leap of faith, maybe taking a few risks, going off into the unknown, and doing it with this spirit of optimism. And that kind of bright-eyed and bushy-tailed kind of attitude. So what does it mean for us? Why has the Fool appeared in our reading in the middle of the week? What's the message of the Fool here? The Fool is reminding you that aliveness and enthusiasm and your ability to feel those things, your ability to feel alive, enthusiastic, and optimistic, all kind of hinge on your ability to try something new and to take a risk. If you're completely unwilling to try something new or to get out of your comfort zone, to shake up your usual routine, if you're totally unwilling to take a risk, slowly you will notice that you no longer really feel alive, or you feel kind of stifled. You don't have that same excitement and enthusiasm and creativity that you once had. And so if you're feeling that way, if you're like, yeah, I'm just not feeling motivated, I'm not feeling excited about anything, I'm not really enthused, then it might be time to look at this and think, okay, well, where in my life am I taking risks? And they don't have to be big risks. They could just be, doing something a little different, getting out of your comfort zone, trying something new. So that's the message I get with the Fool, is that if you want to add pizzazz, if you want to inject some energy and enthusiasm into your life, ask yourself, where can I maybe try something new, get out of my comfort zone, take a bit of a risk here and there. Okay, last card is for the end of the week. And here we have, maybe I'll just turn it a bit so there's not so much glare. There we go. So 9 of Wands is for kind of Friday, Saturday, Sunday-ish. And this is so interesting. I almost feel like Strength and the Fool kind of have a similar energy. There's sort of both show a person with their pet, with their animal companion, and there's almost an innocence to both of these cards. There's a fresh kind of feeling. With the 9 of Wands, it's the opposite. So here we see this guy, he's busy writing a letter or something. He's not really having a lot of success. Looks like he maybe has a headache or he's getting frustrated. He feels frazzled. So it's like a very, very different energy. So the 9 of Wands, remember when I was talking about strength and I talked about boundaries, and strength is about having the strength to know when to stand up for yourself, when to really assert a boundary, and when to maybe be flexible on it. Well, the 9 of Wands is also a card of boundaries, which is so interesting. So the 9 of Wands, I sometimes also associate this card with setting boundaries. So in this particular deck, I'm not seeing it quite as much. In other decks will often show someone standing kind of next to sort of a fence of wands, and they look sort of apprehensive, and they might have like a bandage on their head or their arm, and they look kind of tired and weary. And this is a different energy with this 9 of Wands. It's like this guy is trying to get ideas or something, or he's trying to figure something out, and he's just not having much luck. So actually, the more I sit with this card, the less I feel like it has to do with boundaries. So pretend I didn't say that. I'm gonna let that interpretation go, because it actually isn't really fitting with this one. To me, it feels like this guy is stressing himself out. He's trying to be perfect. He's trying to find the right words, the right way of saying something, and he's kind of stressing himself out. And his mind is kind of going in circles. His energy, he's just burnt out. He doesn't have the energy he needs to complete the tasks that he needs to complete. And it's so interesting that he comes after the Fool, because the Fool is all about getting out of your comfort zone, taking some risks, and then kind of replenishing your energy, right? But here we have the Nine of Wands for the weekend. Okay. This weekend, if you feel like you're going in circles with something, so if you feel like you're sort of spinning your wheels and doing the same thing over and over, trying to figure things out, it might be time to take a bit of a break and move into that territory of the Fool. So I almost feel like most of us this week aren't going to take the original advice of the Fool about getting out of our comfort zone and taking risks. And then we're going to kind of end up here where it's like we just don't have energy anymore. We're burnt out. We're trying to figure things out. We're spinning our wheels. We're overthinking things. Everything feels difficult. Nothing is working. We're out of the flow. So I feel like if you find yourself in that predicament on the weekend or towards the end of the week, look at the Fool and look at Strength, because within those two cards is the antidote. This is the key to kind of getting out of this frustration, getting out of that funk. And actually, if you look at all these different pens and pencils behind him, they're all chewed. So just think of that energy where you're like chewing your pencil, you're working on a problem, you're trying to figure something out. So if you find yourself in that Nine of Wands mode, look to the wisdom of Strength and the Fool. And Strength tells you to set boundaries. Strength says, be assertive, stand up for yourself. And the Fool says, get out of your comfort zone. Don't just keep doing the same thing all the time. Start a new project, take a new class, take a different route on your walk, try something new, take a few risks. Don't be afraid to do something a little different. So, yeah, so that's what I get here. Okay. Let's look at all the cards again now. See if there's anything else jumping out. I'm noticing there's mountains in the background in the first two cards, but not with the Nine of Wands. Lots of flowers and shrubs and trees in the first two cards, not so much with the Nine of Wands. And the Strength and the Fool are both outside, and the background looks really similar, whereas Nine of Wands is inside. And again, if you find yourself in Nine of Wands mode, being stuck and frustrated, burnt out, getting outside might also be a bit of a fix. It might kind of shift your energy a little. So that's also something to keep in mind. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this reading up. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope you find it helpful. Just a little reminder to sign up for my free tarot webinar that happens on Thursday. I'll put the link to sign up below this video. And yeah, I hope to see you there. Okay, have a good week. Bye-bye.